Your understanding of the problem you're asked to solve is what helps you with knowing the right element to use for the project. Tunde again from Ceasar Graphics. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my weekly design training for creatives. I'm sure you guys are going to learn so much from this tutorial. So let's start. So this is one of the design I received this week. And before I start fixing things here, I want to quickly let you all know that the fact that I'm using Photoshop to correct design does not mean this is the only application you can use to fix or achieve good design. All right. Okay. So yeah. So this project here is a bit successful, and I'm going to share why this is a bit successful before I get to the fixing this. And before I even start fixing this, I want to specially thank this designer for sharing the raw files with us. All right. Thank you for making that move. All right. So the color usage on this project is beautiful. And I also like the fact that if you look at the color on the face of this character here, you'll see we have the similar color on the face of the people on the background. And these are one of the things that you need to fix whenever you are using more than one pictures or more than one images on your project. Make sure the color on your character or your images, the colors on their faces are uniform. The not doing this well is also part of what always make it look like your design is busy and it's not looking successful. The way you limit the use of font on your project is the same way you control or you limit the use of color on your characters or images or visuals on your project. So here, notice the color on this characters balance, and it help with limiting the use of too many colors. All right. Yeah. So the other thing I like about this project is the color combination, where we have this orange color here and then we have this blue color on on the type here. The part of using color the right way is also part of, the way you apply color to your fonts, your shapes. It matters. All right. The combining the color correctly is also important. In fact, orange and blue are good colors that they work together. And let's go straight to the errors, all right, that we have on the project. Now, the use of white space here is totally off. Everything is too close to each other, and that's what I think this designer need to work on. Watch out for how you play with white space. White space is part of what give our project the relaxed look. When everything is too close to each other, it's not going to make the contents, it's not going to make the elements great. It's going to make everything look too short. And then the other thing I think you did not do well here is the way the playing with too many weight and scale. All right. We have too many different size of scale here. If you look at the support type here, you'll notice that the size of this font here is different from this. All right. I wish you guys can see the my property tab here. All right. If I go to the support layer here, now you see that we have another size of the the character here. The same thing with this side here. Yeah, I've mentioned to you guys several times that there's a part of making your project look dynamic. But remember, I'm always saying this to you all that making everything too much in graphic design is going to affect the success of your design. So you need to be very careful with the way you play with scale and font weight. All right. So I'm going to quickly show you guys steps on how to do this right. And I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy this. This is what we're going to do. All right. I don't want to change I'm going to change the character a bit because I'm going to play with the size of the font. All right. So what I'll do is I'm going to copy this text here, the font type here. The funding, not font, the funding information here. I'm going to delete this. All right. Then I'm going to put this here. Now, the reason why I'm going to make the support and funding, the support for funding similar size is because, listen, when you're working on corporate design, all right, be careful with the way you make your type dynamic. The playing with your title, all right, is not just something you do without any reason. In fact, every project you are asked to work on, there should be a reason why you make all the move you make on the project. You don't just do anything because, okay, yes, I don't want to look like I didn't do anything. No. When it comes to corporate design, you have to make it look corporate, except if the information on the design is talking about playing, or because there are some corporate designs that you need to play. All right, so take your time to understand the problem you're asked to solve before you start playing with your character. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna move this up here for now, and I'm gonna add the 4 text here. All right, good. Then I'm gonna move this here like that. All right, then this is going to come right here, and I'm gonna hide this. I'm gonna take this out. Okay, so when you are working on design projects and you notice you are using more than one images, in fact, you notice the information on your image is much, please limit the way you add elements to the project. And I'm saying this here now because of this board that we have here. This picture already is loaded with too many activities. Now, you adding to the project is going to affect the project and make it look too busy. So I'm going to take this out first. Okay. And I'm going to move this and put this here for now. All right. Then one other thing I'm going to do again here is I'm going to add grid. So I'll go to view and select guide and say new guide layouts like that. And yeah, so we're gonna make this, let's just make this 4 columns. Okay, yeah, 4 column is fine, and let's make it 4 rows. Okay, let's make it 4 rows. All right, and yeah, so this is good. So I'm gonna select the OK button now, and I'm gonna move this up here like that for now. Okay, so I decided to change this to regular because italics are mostly used for profile, and is also used if the message is saying movements. All right, if you're trying to depict movement with type, that's when you're supposed to do the use of italics. All right, so you see the reason why is when you're using shape on your project, please, you need to consider white space. Now I want to make this bank name smaller now, and the reason why I'm making it smaller is because we are not trying to promote the bank, and we're not trying to promote the account number. What we're trying to promote here is for people to see us. Now I'm talking like the way the brand is going to talk now, because yeah, this is what whenever you're asked to work on design projects, the goal of the brand is for people to know them. So the goal here is to promote the brand and not the account number, because when you make the account number even bigger, you're going to create the impression that your goal is the money you want to get from people. And when people see that your focus is on the money and not the service, it's going to make them want to run away. It's going to make them not to trust you. All right. So the focus is not the account number. So the account number should not be too big. All right. And the putting of the bank name in the shape here is going to affect the size of the type. So what we're going to do is to take the shape out. All right. Don't worry. I'll show you how to do this right. Okay. And I'm going to copy the type. I mean, the name of the bank, which is UBA. So yeah. So the reason why I decided to make this bigger is because, you see, I want to share one of the secrets on how you can make type to make your project look aesthetic. So when you see figure on your project, all right, it's better you make it big. because figure is one of the um I'll use elements that spice up our project. It's not something you see all the time. You don't see making of figures big on design project. And when you make it bold on your project, it makes it look beautiful. And that's why whenever you're asked to work on design project and um you see the title, you see there's a part of the title that says 5 ways you can benefit from our service. Please make 5 bold. When you do that, it's going to make the project look interesting. Or you see something that say buy one get two free, right? Just whenever you see figure, please make it abstract, make it look big, make it look bold. It's going to spice your project, and that's why I decided to do this here. Right now, design. Right, design is doing the unexpected, and you can't do the unexpected when you do something that people are already used to. And that's why I said abstracting the figure is one of the ways you can make your project look interesting. Okay. So yeah, so I'm gonna make this this bold. All right. And I'm gonna move this up to right about here. All right. Then I'm gonna move the 2 layers now. Now, when you have too many information on your project, all right, one of the ways you can simplify your project is to use more than one more than one color on your project. Do not place your project or your content on one color. When you do that, you are going to end up um, having your elements too close to each other. You'll notice that with the way I rearrange this layout now, we have enough room for our title and the rider. All right. So whenever you notice, okay, the information on the project is much, please quickly make use of columns. Okay. So I'm going to hit Control H again and I'll move this down here. I'll make it smaller. Okay. So I think I prefer lights. And this can now be extra bold. Yep, like that. Then can move this out and close the space, like that. Then for the pictures, so I'm gonna make this dude's image a bit smaller because this is too big. All right, so for this, let's see if we can adjust this also a bit. All right, so there's the part of playing with this your rider to make the project look more interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the important phrase here and make them bolder. So we have a ruling 50 privilege children, so this should be bold. All right, this should be bold. All right, privileged children, and in school and empowering juveniles currently in homes of repairing with skills for a productive life. So productive life, I can do this for the productive life. I can draw a shape here. All right. There's also the part of doing this. Okay, you can always do this. I'm gonna hide this, and all right. Now, why I decided to do this again is because of what this designer is trying to achieve here. So I'm trying to teach you that it's not every time you make use of too many skills. There are several ways you can contrast the important information on your project. It's not only when you make them have different sizes. So that's the reason why I decided to do this to help you guys. All right. So I'm gonna move this in a bit like that. Okay, and as you can see, I'm sure you guys can agree with me that the project is looking simple now. And for this here, I don't expect you to use another character for this. All right, I don't expect you to do that. All right, so we are gonna delete this. Okay, you don't need to put motto, and then we now have the the text. And yeah, I think this is better. So I'm going to hit Control H and take this board out. The fact that you're using guide does not mean you can't go outside of your guide, because the guide is not there to trap you. It's just there to help you with making your project look professional and balanced. Now, before you make the move of breaking the or going outside of the guide, please watch out for the space between your elements. This was here before, and if I hide the guide now, I notice that I'm having too many white space here, which is not helping at all. So I decided to make my guide visible and move this close to this to reduce the space between the elements. So whenever you're using guide, please don't take guide as a praise. Don't take it as, okay, because I'm using guide, I can't go. No, 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 no. There's the part of you, going outside of the guide a bit. And the other thing I want to do here is, we've been using this color here. All right, we have this dark value of blue here, so I don't want to use the same dark value of black here. Like I told you guys, there's also the part of playing with the value of your the color that you apply to your element. So I don't want to use the same dark value of color here. So I'm going to switch to gray here. So I'm going to use something light gray. Watch the way I'm going to add other element to this. I'm not going to add any element that is not helping. I'm going to add another element, and I'll tell you guys why I added the elements, and you'll see that the adding of the other elements help with the spicing up of the project. So we've gotten the necessary elements to use here, but if we now want to use other elements to spice this up, we can always draw something like an arrow here. All right, and this arrow here is going to serve as a pointer. All right, it's going to serve as a pointer telling whoever is interested to pay or to subscribe to this, know where to get the account number to transfer the money to. So I'm going to rotate this way, and then I'm going to use the direct selection tool to take this out. We can even, this is looking too long. We can always reduce it. Sorry. We can always make this smaller like that. There's this thing called making your layout balance in graphic design. And that's the reason why I decided to add this pointer here. If you look at the bottom part of my information here, you notice there's this space there, and the space there is much. So because I don't want that space there to look too empty, I decided to add this here. And if I make my guide visible now, you'll notice that I've created another box here. All right, look at this. No, sorry. Can you see there's another box here? All right, this is what we have before. I drew the the pointer, and this is it's not bad. You can always leave it this way, but I decided to do this to to spice up the project and also to make my layout balance. All right, so yeah, so let's see if I hit Control H now. We have this layout here, and I think that is it on this project here. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and you agree with me that the after is looking better than the before. And I'm going to repeat this again. The before is not that bad, but what affected the before is because there's no room for white space, and then we have too many playing with scale. All right, and that affected the success of the project. Okay, yeah. All right, so this is coming from Simply Josh, and it's saying, with a solid background mixed with light background, I've worked better, sir. All right, good question. Now you see why I like the fact that this designer used a bright background or this type of background for this project is because I mentioned something during the training that whenever you are uh, working on your design on any design project and you are asked to use a visual, the details, the content on that visual is very important. So if we use a busy or a gradient background for this project, it's not going to look successful because the way the kids on the background, the students on the background are much. So using a gradient background is going to add to the project. It's going to make it look heavy. And let me say this to you: there's nothing you add to your design project that is just there. Whatever you add to your design project is a load for the design. It's like when you're traveling and you okay, let me use the lift. All right. I'm sure so many of you here agree with me that there's a particular number of people that must be in a lift. If you exceed the number of people that the lift supposed to carry, you're going to cause serious issue. So that's the same thing that applies to design. There's a particular number, there's a particular weight that your design must carry. If you exceed that number of weights, that design is going to look boring and it's not going to look successful. I hope you get that. So this image here, the picture of the kits on this project won't allow the use of gradient background or using background with effects on it. It's going to affect the success of it. I hope you're okay with my answer to your question. Sure.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My
Good
name is
evening.
Favor, and I'm joining from obviously Nigeria, Abeokuta. So I'm
Okay.
in Ogun State presently. So yeah. So my question is, while working on a design, and you notice that you want to add a logo, the brand logo to that design, and let's assume the background you're working on is a solid color, and there's a solid color on that logo too that has the exact same color as the background. Is it okay to use outlines to separate the logo from the background, or
No.
we should just try to maybe make it all black or all white, or I don't know? So what's the best approach to that, sir? Thank you,
All
sir.
right. That's another good question you asked there. Okay. So let me teach you something. You see, logo, all right, is like logo is the image of every brand. All right. It's the picture of every brand. And when you tamper with it, you're going to change the look of the brand. All right. And that's why every organization always have a brand manual that explain how to use the logo. So if you are not given the brand manual on how to play with the logo, I'm going to show you what you're supposed to do. Now, let's say, for example, this is this is a project with a dark background. You see, is affecting the visibility of the logo. So, how are you going to do this? One of the ways to do this is to create a banner. All right, no, not a banner, a header. All right, so we're going to move this down here, and then you put now. Sorry, this here is going to get us confused. So, I'm going to draw a shape here. All right. Yeah. So we're gonna have something like a header like this, and then our information will now be inside this frame here. Then another good way to do this is you can always do this. All right. You can always do this. But listen, when you're doing this, all right, please do not make this touch the logo. Or in fact, one of this is how I mostly do it. I always do this. All right. Then I won't make the frame have this, sharp corners. What I do is I'm gonna make it cut like that. You all know website design, and I'm sure you've seen website where the logo of the brand overlap on uh the slider on the website. I'm sure you all can agree with me that most time when you see that, you always see them have, you always see the website have something like a board projecting the logo. All right, like this, or they create a header. All right, but you still see touch of the board, or you see this, and then you now have here. Then you now have this, like this. And that's the same thing you do when working on design project. All right. If you do this, you're going to help the project and you're also going to help the brand logo. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I hope you're okay with this, Favor.
Yes, yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
you're welcome. I'm glad you made it to the end of this tutorial. And if you have not subscribed, remember to hit the subscribe button and remember to click the post notification bell so you get notified when I post my tutorials. Hit the like button if you love this video. Drop a comment if you learn anything from this video or if there's anything you want to share with me. Thank you again for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.